and welcome to Hot Flush Lawyers, the podcast where we discuss the menopause and its impact with business leaders, healthcare professionals, and other inspirational women who bring to life their personal experiences of the menopause, discuss how times have changed, and share how the menopause has affected them in their lives and careers. Now, over to our two hosts, Claire Thornton and Amanda Gait. We hope you enjoy this episode of Hot Flush Lawyers.
So welcome to Hot Flush Lawyers with me, Claire Thornton from Thornton Jones Solicitors in Wakefield and beyond, West Yorkshire and North Yorkshire, Yorkshire.
And Amanda from
Thornton Jones. And today's guest is Claire McKinlay. I am not introducing Claire as anything other than Claire McKinlay, and she'll introduce herself about what she does for a living.
Hi, well, I'm Claire, and currently I work at Wakefield Grammar School Foundation. So I work across the different schools doing different jobs.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Jack of all trades, I think, is what you master of none.
No, I'm sure you're a master of something.
It's a very worthwhile job.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be
Dealing with all of them lot.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
hard work,
definitely.
I should imagine. So, do you want to tell us about your menopause journey and how it's impacted on your career? And...
Well, I'll start by saying I'm 50 this year, so I'm 49.
Oh, you're a baby.
I'm a baby.
You're a baby.
So you're perimenopause.
Well, I'm not quite so sure, actually.
Oh, well, we'll diagnose you.
We'll tell you. We'll tell
What
you.
is perimenopause? What is menopause and what is perimenopause?
We know
But
all
I do
about
know
it.
that, I have a family history. My grandma was 38 when she went through the menopause.
Oh, gosh.
And my mum was 39 when she went through the
Oh,
menopause.
my goodness.
So when I came to sort of getting these symptoms, I was like, well, it must be the menopause.
how
My mum
old were you?
talked a bit. I think I was sort of mid-30s.
Oh, really? God.
Really?
So, but it wasn't talked about. So yeah, my mum was talked about hot flushes, but I've never really had because the hot flushes.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, oh, yeah, it's the hot flushes. And she said, as soon as I got hot flushes, I was down the doctors and I got my HRT. And I thought, brilliant, this is great. Now, my mum is 75 and she's still on HRT.
Oh, good for
Fabulous.
her.
She's had it.
Oh, we need to get her on then, talk about
35
that journey,
years.
yeah.
So I sort of was these symptoms, but I knew I was a bit young, and
So
you
what
sort
were
of,
your symptoms if you weren't having hot flushes?
just not feeling myself, erratic periods, that sort of
Right.
thing. And I thought, I wonder if it is, but
Bit
I thought
moody.
maybe a bit. But I had
angry.
teenagers, so I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure because isn't everybody moody when they've got teenagers?
Yeah.
So sort of heading towards my late 30s, early 40s, I thought this is definitely coming into sort of. I hadn't heard of perimenopause. It was
No.
menopausal, and I wasn't menopausal because I was still having periods. But you sort of, then these things start coming through the media and you start hearing things about perimenopause. I was like, what's perimenopause? So I went to the doctors when I was about 41, and the doctor said to me, well, you can't be. And so I went, oh, right, okay. And then just quite meekly went away.
Accepted it, yeah.
Accepted it and went a bit further. And then at that time, I was working for North Yorkshire County Council. I was a trading standards officer. And I was travelling all over the county from, I like to say Selby to Skipton to Scarborough to wherever. I was all over. So I'd be doing, sometimes hundreds of miles a day travelling because North Yorkshire is a rather large county.
It is, right. It is the largest county.
It is the largest county.
Very stressful job as well.
It was, and it was quite responsible in that,
What were you going in and telling people that they weren't doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Giving them one star.
So I did everything from. I was a weights and measures inspector, so we were doing all the weights and measures, going into bars, Claire.
Oh, heck.
Doing a weights and measures inspection.
Don't tell me about that.
You've got. If you want me to go through
No,
I'll give you business advice. No. So we were going into businesses doing that. I was giving business advice for start-up businesses, helping them navigate sort of the different legal requirements of setting up a business, and in the marketplace to deal with the, all sorts of different things. And latterly, a lot of the time I spent in court because I represented the county council as their prosecutor. So I would be in court, and I've listened to some of these podcasts that you've talked about forgetting things. And I would stand there and think, I've forgotten what this is. It's a committal. What do I do? And I'd forget. And I'd stand there and I'd forget. And I'd plan
publicly forgetting is particularly
It's
bad.
hard.
well,
isn't
it is, and I'd be, and I'd got to the stage where I couldn't do it anymore. And I was based in Boroughbridge, so we lived in Wakefield, I was based in Boroughbridge, and it was a good 3/4 of an hour every day. Then I'd be travelling around all over and everything else. And I just got to a stage where I was anxiety. I hated driving. I couldn't, couldn't just go. I'd previously, just get in the car and I'd zip off to Scarborough. I'd know my way round. I couldn't remember where I was going.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember dates. I couldn't remember anything. And I was thinking, there's something, something wrong with me. And so and it got to the stage where about 10 years ago, it was 10 years ago actually, because I know that we've lived in our current house for 10 years. And I was travelling to work and I thought, do you know, if I just have a little accident and I go towards that central reservation, it means
You have to do it again.
I won't have to do it again.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to die, and I didn't want to, I'm going to cry.
I know.
No.
I can understand that. I know what you mean.
Oh,
I
I
just
just wanted it to go
stop.
away.
Just stop. You just wanted it to stop.
Yeah,
That feeling to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted it to go away.
Oh.
I just wanted to not be doing this anymore, not have this expectation on me, because I just lost all my confidence.
Yeah. It's so
hard.
hard, Claire. It is, and I really empathise with that, because I think I don't know about others, but I can honestly say that I've had those thoughts as well, where it's just like, if I just drive into that tree, it'll stop.
Yeah.
All of this will stop.
But
and
I wanted to break my leg. I didn't
Didn't want to say
I didn't want to
but
die.
yeah.
I just wanted to stop.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, there was no, and I'll truthfully say there's never been any thoughts of ending anything or anything like that. I just needed to take myself away, have a bit of time off.
Yeah.
Away from work,
And just
away
be able to
from
justify
this,
that without.
Yes.
but be able to justify it.
Yeah.
Because there's this,
Guilt.
there's a guilt.
Yeah, there is.
You know.
Yeah.
And I
For
had,
women, we're just trained from birth to feel guilty about things, aren't we? And so then when you're not able to do what you've always done, and supporting your family and all the things you've got to do.
And you've got a lot of expectation on you as a woman, but as a mum, as a partner, as whatever, that you have got to
Do it
manage.
all.
You've got to be
Do
superwoman.
it all,
Yeah.
and you've got to know. And I've been one of these people come to me and I've got a really good memory, or should I say, I did have a really good memory. And Alistair, my husband, will say to me, oh, that looks nice. And I go, oh yeah, I last wore it when it was that meal we went out with. And he's like, how do you remember this?
Yeah.
And I was, and I'll remember a gift that we got for our wedding 25 years ago. And he's like, how do you remember this? But if you ask me what we had for dinner yesterday, I'm like, oh, I've got no idea. And he'll, I just can't remember these things. But there was this expectation, and I was in an important job, and you were very much left to your own devices, managing your own caseload. I had loads of cases to manage, and I just thought, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But luckily, I was in a position where we just bought a house, and I thought, I spoke to Alistair, and I said, look, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to project manage our renovation of the house. So I went to see my boss, and I confided in somebody at work actually, and she told my boss, and she got me in.
Nice.
No, it was the right thing to do,
okay.
and it was the right thing to do. And she said, Claire, you can't feel like this, and I said, I'm just going to have to leave. And I put my resignation in and said, here's my resignation. I either leave now or I'll have to go on sick. Go on sick.
Yeah.
I just can't be here. So I left, and then I just felt so guilty, but the relief that
Not
was
having
it.
to do all that every day.
That was not having to do that anymore. So that was sort of that really, and then I.
Could I just ask if in that role, do you think if you'd have been given more support during that period of time, because obviously it was 10 years ago, that the world has changed substantially with regards to recognition of these symptoms, probably just over the last few years, to be honest with you. Do you think if you'd been given more support and maybe more time out, that you would have wanted to stay in that role, or was it something, actually I do need to change this because
I think it was a bit of both actually. I think I probably would have stayed, but it was a very misogynistic, and not everybody. I had some great colleagues, and there were some fantastic people, and they all were individually fantastic, but I think as a culture at that time, and then I'm not apportioning any blame to the people that I worked for or worked with, because I don't want to do that, but it just wasn't heard of. It just wasn't spoken of. And I think myself, it was my problem and I needed to take myself away from doing that because it was my problem and I needed to deal with it.
Yeah.
Rather than actually, it wouldn't have even entered my head, I don't think, at that time to say, actually, I'm struggling.
Could we change something?
Can we do something?
Yeah.
Can we change something? And I used to be, do you know what really used to annoy me? Was I worked in Boroughbridge, sort of 45 minutes, as I said, from home. I'd get to work with hot desk. There might not even be a desk. And I used to get, and I got this anxiety. Rage. And actually, rage is one of those things that actually
symptom, I think.
was there's a few of my worst symptoms, so to speak, but rage was my worst. And I used to get, never at work, and I could keep calm, but my family really did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know.
But they probably deserved it.
Well, probably. But no, they probably didn't. And I was just an absolute witch. I was awful, but I used to see myself almost like an out-of-body experience, hovering over myself, knowing that this was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever said in my life, but I couldn't stop. And I was, never violent, never anything like that. But seriously, if somebody had come towards me, I'd have decked them one because I could not control it. And I'd be absolutely fine, but it would be the simplest things like somebody saying, "Oh, is tea not ready yet?" And that would just flick
would
a
set
switch.
most people off, wouldn't it?
It would just absolutely drive me crackers. Or,
I need to go somewhere now that I haven't talked to you about.
I've forgotten my cooking ingredients or something.
Yeah, why aren't you ready to take me?
It would just drive me, absolutely. But I would literally, I felt like I was hovering over myself, watching myself
and not being able to
being able to stop and thinking this is it. And we had a family password for, I can't say anything to you, Mum, but this is ridiculous. It was penguins. So my kids, I mean, they were,
I probably sent you into a rage when they said don't say that.
Yeah, because, well, there were times.
Nothing wrong with me.
But the word penguins has become a bit of a joke in the family, is that when Mum's off on one, penguins is the word that means I can't really speak to you, Mum, because if I say something, I'll say the wrong thing. Therefore, if I just say penguins, it's so
diffuses it.
It just it's a word I have to think about. Oh, and it works.
Yeah,
there, guys, get yourself a password.
Yeah, it'd wind me up.
In the rage moment, it
would. Yes. Don't you say that to me.
I want a penguin. You're a penguin.
Yeah. So so I left work doing that. I went home. I say project managed. We had builders in. I made lots of cups of tea.
Wow.
Calculated 6,000 in the course of the time it took us to do our house. But we had brilliant builders. Brilliant, that. And then it came and
were you on you were still not having any?
No, I was still not on HRT
because you were too young still.
I was too young still. So I went. I was about 43, and Alistair said, "This has got to stop." Not in a nasty way, but you really need to do something about this. So he booked me my appointment with the doctor and came with me.
Did that send you into a rage?
Actually, no, because he was really good about it. I don't know whether he'd read something about menopause, but he was really good about it. So he made the appointment and he made it, and it was a male doctor, and that's fine. I'm not. It doesn't have to be a female doctor, but he went. This was bear in mind I was about 43, 44. He went, "You're too young."
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But we'll do a blood test. He said. So I said, right, okay. So we had a blood test. All came back normal. And I've since discovered that when they take that blood test, it is for a snapshot at that very moment in time.
It is, yeah.
So disregarding all the symptoms, because my blood test came back normal, that was the end of that. That was the end of that. And I went away and I carried on and I looked into it and it said over 45. You don't need a blood test. You can do it on symptoms. I thought, get to 45, get to 45, get to 45, get to 45.
That is awful.
It's
awful.
Especially with your history of knowing your mums.
Well, this is it. And I think he only gave me the blood test because I said, my mum and Anna was 38 and my mum was 39. Yeah. That actually he considered giving me a blood test.
Makes you wonder what changed, though, in that period, because if those doctors and when your grandma was 38, somebody, they obviously recognised something at that point that it could be earlier, but then that middle period seems to have been a bit of a weird...
It is. And, people nowadays are having children later. I had my children fairly young, but people are having them later now. You know, if they're not aware that you can spontaneously go into menopause or you know, start a menopause earlier, you think about it as somebody in the 50s or and it wasn't talked about. And actually now I think these conversations are really helpful. I've got 2 daughters and they know what I've been through and I want them to address it when they're older. But I don't want to say to them, get your children in early, you know, because I want them to live fulfilling careers and put their, you know, a woman in today needs to put her mark upon the world, and I want my children to do that. But equally I don't want them to be hindered and by knowing if I want children I've got to get on with it, or my mum went, you know, started this early and grandma did and whatever. But you know, our children have to be aware of this. Young people today have to be aware of it.
I think they're a different generation anyway, aren't they? They're much more savvy with regards to things. And as you say, I think that I've got a dog. Claire and me know each other from way back. I went to Claire and Alistair's wedding with Harry. My
you
baby,
did 25 years ago this year.
My little baby dancing in his nappy on the dance floor.
You did. I've got some photos of him actually.
So we've known each other for quite a long time, and our daughters have gone to school together. But I think that I see a difference in them, in their lack of acceptance. They don't just accept things like we did way back when. So I think they're much more ready to fight for their own right. And I think they've as well, the path that we've gone down has opened things up to people as well.
Absolutely.
That it is that element of, well, it's not a joke anymore. We do laugh about it, but it's not you know, a working men's club joke about hot flushes. It's a real thing that we go through that's not particularly nice for some people. And I think that because it's so open and so out now, I don't think, well, I hope that they won't have the same journeys that we've had. I think they're much more savvy with regards to stuff and much less likely to accept. They just won't accept it. If a doctor, I can imagine my daughter going to see a doctor and a doctor going, "Oh, you're too young." She'd go, "No, I've read it up on the internet and I want you to have another look."
Well, that's the other big thing is the information that we've got now. Like you know, we used to have to read newspapers and things in our day, but now you just. And everyone's got a story to tell. I mean, you can over Google and you can over
and I tried not to do that because I'm on HRT. It took a while to get it right, so I'm now on the gel, which I slap on every day.
Me too. Yeah.
And the tablet in the evening, and
you feel hugely better.
I feel massively better. The rage has completely gone, and my mum and the kids will say to me, "You're just a lot more chill, mum." You know, I am. I feel myself being, and I don't get stressed by things generally. I don't like driving.
I don't either, Claire.
I'm okay driving around Wakefield, around where I know where I'm going, but I need to know the length of time it's going to take me to get there, the route I'm going to take. Any worries? You were saying about going to the toilet. You know, will there be a loose stop? Do I need to go? How long? You know, and it's and I hate that. And
you weren't like that as a young woman. No,
I used to get me A to Z of North Yorkshire, and I'd be in the county, and some say they live on Water Lane, and I'd find it on the A to Z, and I'd
we used to have
zip round, find it.
For young people, an A to Z is a map.
It's in a book, and it's got all the streets and all the towns.
That's on your phone, piece of paper.
Yeah,
the person telling you which way to go.
We did not have Google, and we didn't have Google Maps and all of that malarkey. And I don't like driving now. You know, and I couldn't do my old job because there's no way I could get in that car and drive to an unknown place.
Yeah.
So I didn't have it as extreme as you, was stopping in the middle of the M62 or whatever it was.
Well, I did have children in with me as well.
That wasn't very
it wasn't Lucy, so we're all right.
But there have been instances where I've just sort of I just can't drive. I just can't get there, and I'll make any excuse and any reason and white lies to try and get out of going somewhere to drive.
I've got a group of 7 girlfriends, and we go on holiday together regularly. And there's only 2 of us that will ever drive anywhere. If you go into the airport, there's me and another friend that will drive, and the rest are like, I mean, they will, but they're really reluctant to because of exactly the same symptoms.
But do you ever remember, like, it was always your granddad drove and your mum drove. Your dad drove.
It's always the men that drive.
It was always the men that drive, and now I've realised it's because the women don't want to.
Yeah.
Because actually they get this anxiety that they don't like driving. Well, I'm sticking to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
I still feel very anxious about driving, but I mean, the medication I've got takes the edge off it, and I will make myself do it. Like last week, I drove to Newcastle to pick Alice up. And all of her rubbish, and I had to plan it in my mind beforehand, and I was the same as you. It was like, right, I'm not going to have anything to eat or drink before I go, just in case I need to have a toilet stop, and there isn't a toilet somewhere along there. So I had to plan all of that out in my mind, and I don't like it. I don't like doing it, but I do it. I'm not, but my sister, she doesn't do any long distance driving anymore at all. She just drives within her locality, and if she has to drive long distances, she just won't do it. She'll come on the train instead. That's it. So I think it is more common than people realise.
I think it's not just about the anxiety; it's about loss of confidence.
Yeah.
So, you know, I decided that. I didn't decide. Alistair said to me, "Have you thought?" This is when the house was done. Have you thought maybe going back to work?
Could do with the money.
And I went, oh, and then a job became available at St Thomas a Becket School, and I thought, which is literally, I can throw a ball almost and get there from our house. Not quite.
They're convenient for
very convenient for not driving, you see. And I thought, well, they'll never want me because, you know, I've got this degree, postgrads, all of this lot, and it was a receptionist's job. And I said, I don't think I'm qualified to do it. And Alistair went, that's ridiculous, Claire. Why would you? So I went for it and I got it, and I was there.
But they were delighted
just
to
before,
have you.
just before COVID, went through COVID, etc. with them. And then we were sitting at, we were somewhere, I can't remember where, and Alistair was on the internet. He says, there's a job at the high school. And I went, oh, well, they were, no, I can't move. And there was this proper anxiety that it was for the same job I was doing at St Thomas a Becket's at the high school, which I knew very well because that's where my girls had gone. Oh no, I couldn't go there. They would not, couldn't. I didn't have the confidence. Basically, he made me apply. I mean, not that it was a bullying thing, but he knew that actually,
of course, you could do it.
I did not. Before I put that application in, I did not sleep at all the night before. I was up all night worrying about putting my application in, because I just thought nobody's going to want me. I'm this unqualified person doing this job, winging it daily. They're never going to want to know me. They're never going to want to give me the job.
How awful.
And I just didn't think I was capable of even doing that. And I went, and it's been the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And I would never go back to what I was doing previously.
No.
I have a job where I can go in the morning and come home
Forget
at
about it.
4:30, and I'm done.
Fabulous.
And I don't have anything. And I've changed in that time. So I work at the high school. This year I've started working at the pre-prep, doing more things there. I'm now moving to another team as a secondment, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm doing.
And you don't feel like that have you lost that feeling of that I'm not good enough to do that, or is that still there?
No, it's still there.
Is it really?
It's
Even
still
though you're
there.
on a HRT, you're not getting. You've still got those confidence.
Got that
issues.
confidence thing. So I still think, it's that. I can't remember
Yeah,
because there's
obviously.
memory. What's it called when you sort of you think you're underqualified, you can't do something.
Imposter syndrome.
Oh, we've
I
all got
always
that.
feel that, but then maybe that's being a woman.
I think it is.
Yeah,
We've all
babe.
got that. Every woman I've spoken to got that to lesser or greater extents, I think.
Yeah.
But if it makes you feel any better, by the time you get to my stage, about 58, and I'm not menopausal anymore because I'm postmenopausal. You don't give a damn about anything. You just really don't.
I don't have a lot of imposter syndrome at all.
Not anymore.
The only thing I've got now is my energy levels maybe not quite as high as they were. But I've got a very busy life, and I do
you're
stupid.
mad with the things.
I know, and I
you
take
do.
on stupid things, and I don't know whether that's a symptom. I don't know what that is. I don't know whether I'm clinging on to.
You're not
my
30
youth
anymore.
Yeah, but that feeling that I've got to keep. I feel like I've gone really low down this journey.
I was going to say you seem to be sinking.
I'm small enough as it is. I don't know. Excuse me. Hello.
You did seem to slowly but surely sink under the table.
It's the tiredness. It's going down.
Dear.
But yeah, I don't know whether I do question, having done this sort of fairly mad thing of opening a bar as well as running a law firm. I do analyse why I felt the need, and it's something I've always wanted to do. It's a dream, and so I've followed it. But I do feel that it's been like a bit, maybe possibly a bit much.
Yeah.
Not from an anxiety point of view, although I do sometimes get a bit stressed. Maybe that's the word. And then I think we as women, I think for so many years we fought to be equal to men. I think that's why it's so difficult for women when you get to that age where, or you get your symptoms that not everybody has, but a lot, the majority have, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
To a greater or lesser extent. Then you're suddenly like, what have I done all this for? Why have I battled to juggle raising children? Because we do feel we've got to take it all. We've got to be super women at work, but we've also got to be super mums. We don't want to lose any of that, do we? And you create this huge stress for yourself, which makes you question whether it was the right thing to do all these years, or whether we need to try and get that balance a bit better. Where it doesn't have to be the woman, but I think if one of you is at home more than you're not, to manage the family, because running a family is like running a business, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
And it doesn't get any easier.
So I think maybe we need to settle down into which I think young people now are more fair.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They are.
I think that's the right thing, but I think our generation has done it the hard way, and we've had to be all things to everybody.
Yeah, because we're sort of stuck in the middle, aren't we? Because our parents, a lot of them, the mum stayed at home.
They did. My mum did. Yeah.
I mean, my mum worked, but not all the time, and my dad was a teacher, so he went out to work every day, but he was at home in the holidays. So actually, that was quite nice, and he did a lot of the traditional things that a woman would do. My dad loved, but he's no longer with us. Loved cooking, so he would cook dinner most evenings.
Nice.
Nice.
Things like that.
I don't think my dad knew where the cooker was.
No, my dad or my husband's.
No, mine doesn't.
My husband definitely does not know where the cooker is.
That's right. Water. So they had a more traditional life, didn't they? Where the
and then our the younger generation, they're happier to split it more, or split it equitably. I'm not where no. I don't know what it doesn't matter who it is, and
they do frustrate me though, because I think that's because we've come from that generation that I feel like we've had to fight for everything that we've got, and things are better. They're certainly better than in the 80s when I started at university, and early 90s when I started training contracts, etc., for being a solicitor, and the misogyny and all the other thing that you had back then. I mean, it's a completely different world. So you do feel that you've been in a constant battle. So it then does frustrate me that they're so laid back about life, and they don't care. And it's just like, if I don't like that job, I'll just get another one. Or I'll do this, or I'll do that.
Yeah. I'm having a year out. That's what my 18-year-old's decided.
I'm going to travel.
Just finish my levels. I'm going to have a year off. A year off from what?
Yes.
I know. It's like, because we did, didn't we? We went to school. We went to university. We started work.
Of course you did.
You
had your children.
Yes.
You went back to work.
I would never think of taking a year off in the middle of my degree. Not my children are not doing that, because they're doing long enough degrees as it is. But I've heard of them that are in the middle of a whatever degree. I'm going to have a year off travelling.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
What's that about?
But who's got it right and who's got it wrong?
Exactly.
They've got it right.
Exactly.
They have.
They're thinking about they're protecting themselves for the future.
Yeah.
As well. So actually, if they're going into stressful jobs, they're thinking now. Let's have a bit of time now.
I'm going to have a bit of fun whilst I can, and good on them if they can. But it does frustrate them. Especially when you're dealing with one of them.
Yeah, I mean,
or more than one.
I'm really proud of my children, and I think I want them to be the people that I never have. And I think as parents, you always want your child to be better than you.
Oh, yeah.
And I want them to learn from my mistakes.
Which they won't.
Which they won't.
They'll
repeat
because you're
them.
always wrong.
Do you feel like sometimes yourself that you're turning into your mother? I find myself saying things and think, oh, my life, my mum used to say that.
And it used to drive me mad.
Yeah.
And you swore you'd never say it, and then you say it. Like, put this stuff in the dishwasher.
Do you have open discussions with your daughters about your symptoms and the menopause?
Yeah, definitely. And with my husband as well, because I think they're just so wide ranging. So I brought with me, and it's a bit of a funny thing because at work people do come to me now talk about the menopause, and I'm not the menopause champion or anything like that, but we have got a menopause policy, and I am one of the women that's quite careful. And go, it's I'm going through the menopause, and I think that people come to me and we talk about it quite openly actually, and it's quite nice.
That's good.
What really annoys me, it's never bothered me. I think, well, bully for you,
nice,
great for you,
yeah.
Fantastic. When it hits you when you're 58, then it'll be different. But there's I'm just fine. Oh
yeah.
And some people are.
And then my rage maybe comes back a little bit at those points.
Very, very rare though, isn't it? That you don't get anything.
No, it is.
But some people have the milder symptoms that they can manage with.
Yeah. And when they had the change, but there was an article. It was a couple of years ago, at least, if not more, of a list of symptoms. And I remember when I did go to the doctors eventually when I was over 45, 45, and it was a female doctor again, and she's amazing. And I took this little bit of paper in and I said, look, I've seen this. And I said, I tick nearly all of these boxes. And she went, and I got really upset about it. She went, do you want HRT? I went, yes, please. Please. And she said, I was like you. And she said, I remember getting my own prescription for HRT and taking it to the pharmacy and coming out, and I was in the car with my teenage boy and I pulled my pants down and I was slapping that patch on. I felt this doctor that's she herself had obviously
had the same battles,
and
crazy.
She had to still go to her own doctor and say, I need HRT. And I was frightened of saying that naughty word, I want some HRT. It was a bit of a, even then, sort of 5 years ago.
But especially because you've been rejected 2 or 3 times before that and told you weren't.
And in that time I'd never once been to the doctors because I was so frightened of going to the doctors, medical anxiety I suppose, of being turned away for whatever it was. So it stopped me going
for anything.
For anything.
Oh, really?
For nothing.
I know, but you sit there, and I think you must be a very strong person to go back 3 times.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people on that first occasion where they'd be knocked, but they would not enter into it again. But for you to go back with your husband and get knocked back and then go again, good on you.
Well,
you've had the strength to do
If
that.
I hadn't gone back, I don't think I'd be married now. Because I think Alistair would have chucked me out by now, really. But yeah, so that was it started off on the patches, and then you change these things, don't you? You go on the gel, etc. But I went through this list, and I've been listening to your podcasts and listened to the other ladies that have been speaking about what they've experienced. I was thinking, tick, like Amanda said. Oh, yeah, I've got that. Is that a new symptom? And we were saying like the itchy ears. Oh, days.
It was a revelation when they said that was menopausal. I thought I was going mental.
Yeah. I've never heard of that until I have now.
Itchy skin, itchy hands.
Itchy generally, I think, isn't it?
Itchy hands, definitely. But my ears, beyond it.
And one of the things that I also get is I'm more susceptible to allergies. I won't say I've got more allergies, but you're more susceptible. So, like an insect bite, I now have an allergic reaction to.
Oh, do you? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like my whole leg swelled up, and I got
cellulitis.
Cellulitis. I got infection and stuff. I had to go get some strong antibiotics and stuff.
Just by a normal,
a normal one,
like a mosquito.
Well, I got bitten 10 times in one day in my garden. About a couple of months ago. And I've still got the scars on my legs because they were so badly infected.
Oh, really?
Almost immediately I had to go
And that's
straight.
a symptom?
And you become more susceptible to it. It's not that you're more susceptible to being bitten.
But
I'm not a medical doctor here.
No.
But I think that your hormones and those changes in your hormones make it your reaction to them different.
Worse, right.
Hay fever, not had that since I was a kid, and now
terrible.
Now got that back again.
I've had a bit of it this year for the first time.
I've got something that I found that it will change your life with regards to bites. I'll tell you about it afterwards, rather than.
Well, tell us now.
Because I'm the same. I used to get bitten and get cellulitis. Permanently on antibiotics throughout the summer. I didn't realise that it could have been a reaction, but absolutely awful. I remember going to the races one year and I had a bite at the top of my leg, and the whole of my top of my leg had swollen. It was just awful. And I saw on the internet something, and I got it from Amazon, and it's called Bite Away, and it's a pen, and you put, as soon as you're bitten, you put it on, and it burns it. and it burns it, and it stops the spread of the bacteria from the bite into your bloodstream.
Is it like an electric?
It's just like a button you press, and it's got a little pad on the end of it, and you put it on top, and you press it, and it contains the bacteria in the bite and burns it, and you apply it. I apply it on a morning and on a night. It just like that. It's a couple of seconds. It burns, but it stops it spreading.
Bite away.
Yeah.
Do you not end up with a little scar like a cigarette burn?
No.
Oh.
No.
Because when I had those 10 on my legs, I don't think I'd wanted all
10.
these 10
No,
cigarette burns on
I
it.
had one the other day on my ankle. I'm just checking. No, it's not. There's nothing there. No.
Wow.
Well, it's been life changing.
Well, we're going on holiday in Europe in a few weeks, and I just think I'm going to be,
get a bite away.
Hey, we should be sponsored by Bite Away.
Other products are available.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're not.
But I hadn't realised that.
Yeah, so it's not. I don't think you become more allergic. I just think you become more susceptible to things. But there's all sorts of things. Like one of the things that I never knew was a symptom was dizziness.
Oh,
because I go
dizzy. Yeah,
I get dizzy. And I thought,
is that blood pressure related? Though?
I think it's blood pressure. I mean, I have high blood pressure, but not anymore.
But I have low blood pressure.
I've got low,
and that makes you go dizzy as well.
Yeah, I've got low, but I don't go dizzy.
No, so I go dizzy, but I'll also say it's because I'm drunk, but it never was. But I've actually fallen over and hurt myself a couple of times, and actually, probably, yeah.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Stuff. So yeah, I've had a few.
So does everything spin?
I just get a bit woozy, sort of stand up, and I'm a bit more woozy, yeah.
So what are the symptoms on there that you
had? Very, oh my days. There's I never had the hot flushes actually.
No,
or the night sweats.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm still having those. Mine haven't gone with HRT, that they have reduced, but they're not.
Yeah. Then it goes on to, it says irregular periods. Well, we are, I haven't had periods for nearly 2 years now, so that's why I'm thinking, I'm nearly through it.
You probably are.
Joint pain.
That's very common.
Awful.
Yeah,
Hips,
terrible.
I think I'll be one of these old ladies on a cane.
Yeah.
But anyway.
A lot of people talk
insomnia.
Well, yes.
Everybody gets that, but I think that's just...
I didn't. I can't keep awake.
I can't now.
No.
I go to bed now and that's it. I'm out for the night. But
I love my bed.
At the time, no, I was...
I think I need to be in my bed more often.
I love going to bed.
It says lumpy breasts.
Oh.
I just think mine have just got bigger.
Yes, well, that's the bigger and shapely.
There's more of them. There's more of them, definitely.
Well, mine are definitely yeah, but more of them in the wrong places.
Yeah. I always used to joke, they don't go south, they go southeast and southwest.
Yeah, they do. You lose volume here, but you gain it here, I think.
Yeah,
sorry,
definitely.
Have
men listening to this are going to be thinking, oh, God.
I've got a friend who
really
says she's going to go. I know a couple of people who are going for not enhancements, but
to lift them.
Yeah.
I find that's quite a big operation, though, isn't it? Not just like having,
a reduction and lift, but they don't put anything in them.
No, they just hike it up a bit, don't they?
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I think I need that as well. Brain fog. Yeah, I mean, brain fog. I still get that now.
Yeah,
I walk into a room and
I think men get that as well, though, as they get older. That's just
I think that
but it's your fault if they do. It's just they walk in a room, they forget, but it's your fault. They can't find that. So.
That's just marriage.
Yeah.
Irritability, and I hated that word because it wasn't irritability; it was proper rage.
Yeah.
Depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Loss of confidence.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Poor memory. Yeah.
Difficult
concentrating.
I've always had difficulty in concentrating though, so.
Panic attacks.
Yes.
Dry skin and itchy skin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Acne.
Oh no!
We get rid of it when we're teenagers, and then
it comes back again. I had some acne, when I was not now, but earlier before HRT.
Really?
Yeah, I was the same before HRT.
I had it in pregnancy as well, acne. With Lucy particularly, really bad.
Yeah.
Thinning hair.
Yeah.
Oh no! That's awful. It's awful.
I used to have really thick hair. Now it's just
hangs
limply.
Do you take collagen?
I don't actually.
I would hugely recommend taking liquid collagen. It's mine was my parting in particular had got really thin, and it's still not, but it's improved a lot since taking collagen. I've been taking it for a few years now.
Which one do you take?
I take
the marine or the bovine.
Marine.
Yeah.
Absolute collagen is the one I take. Other collagens are available, and he's sponsored by Absolute Collagen. She's gone down again. It's very dodgy. Yeah, but I would recommend that.
Decreased libido.
Well, yes.
Fatigue. Burning mouth, is that one you've ever heard of before?
No, I've never heard of that
No,
before.
and I've not had that, but apparently that is this according to this doctor.
Burning mouth. Wow.
Nausea. Yeah. Stomach cramps.
Yeah.
Dry mouth.
No.
Dry eyes, that's definitely
Dry eyes, yeah,
definitely dry eyes.
Yeah. Gum problems and teeth problems.
Yeah.
Weight gain. Oh,
Hello.
All around the middle.
yeah. I used to say I used to be a size 8. That's a lie. But I'll never fit in my size 14 jeans again. Bloating.
Amanda's lost lots of weight, haven't you, Amanda?
Yeah,
You've done
I
really
do. It's been a hard.
Yes.
It's been very hard.
It is hard.
And I had this a conversation only the other day with my PT, like, you know, if I was doing this in my 30s, I would have lost 5 stone by now.
Yeah, but I heard you say that. You do, don't you? You go on a diet or you think you've been really good and actually you've put weight on. You're like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
I know. This was after last week, after I'd put a pound on.
It's silly. Headaches, dryness.
Oh, I had headaches.
UTIs.
Yeah, that's very common.
Pain during sex, incontinence, metallic taste. I'm going through the list. This is not all of them.
Yeah.
Metallic taste in your mouth. I get that quite a lot, actually, still.
Do you?
Do you remember getting that when you were pregnant?
Yeah, I did at the early stages of it.
But apparently, I do get that quite a lot, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Increased body odour.
Yes.
I really worry about that.
Yes.
But I do think.
I think
am I all right? You know?
I never used to have that, but you can sometimes. Yeah, you
I
go,
do. Yeah, I'm a
need to
bit
put
like,
some, I'll give a shower.
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. That's another one.
Apparently so. Cold sweats.
Oh no, what's one of those?
I don't know, but this is what this doctor says. This Tonya Wikomi. Anyway, tinnitus. I get that.
Oh.
Increased bruising. Alistair laughs at me because I'll look and I'm like covered in bruises, and I'm like, he says, "How do you do that?" And I have no idea.
Don't remember. Yeah, you don't remember.
And they're not like all over all the time, but I'll knock myself and get a bruise that does not seem commensurate with what I've actually done.
Yeah, yeah.
It might just be because you can't remember.
Yeah, probably. Actually, that's probably true, Amanda.
I did walk into something, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Palpitations.
Oh, I get that. Terrible, awful.
That's was one of your main ones, wasn't it?
That really freaked me out. That.
So you watching
just
telly,
watch telly,
yeah.
and your heart starts going. You think, "Oh my God, I'm having a heart attack," or it's awful.
I know.
And I do still sometimes get that now.
Do you still?
Yeah.
I had one last night, but then I think it was worrying about coming on air. I was quite nervous.
We're not that bad.
And it's been fine, hasn't it?
Allergies, we were talking about that, didn't we? So the bone fractures, but I think that's because you get older and you get
osteoporosis and HRT is supposed to be very good
it's
for
good
that.
for it, yeah.
It is, yeah. Brittle nails, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Dizziness, I said. Headaches, muscle pain, restless legs, and tingling extremities.
Oh, not like that. One thing that somebody did mention to me that she'd read in a book that was a symptom that I hadn't realised was like increased static.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm really staticky.
Yes.
Really staticky.
And they touch anything and they get an electric shock from it. It was in the Davina McCall book.
Oh, right.
People laugh at me at work, actually, because
definitely
I get up from my seat and go across, and if I touch the filing cabinet, I get a huge electric shock.
Yeah.
And people, honestly, it's like they can hear it across the room.
Do you know what I do? I do a boxercise class on a Monday night. And my hair, my hair goes like this. It's ridiculous. And they all start laughing at me, and then I have to. If I'm sweaty hands, and I calm it down. It's the only way to calm it down.
How are you getting static from that?
I think from the pads hitting the glove, and I don't know, but it goes like I look like Donald Trump.
You look like that
because I'm white.
Professor from Back to the Future. Professor.
Exactly like that. And that is completely static. Yeah, it's weird.
That's that's not.
But obviously my
she's
hair.
Not computer,
she's not
is she?
that. There's that many symptoms.
Or maybe just some of these are just getting older.
I don't think static is.
I don't know why it would be static. I have no idea why, but
I get that.
But I just presumed it was because my hair obviously is now white.
And it maybe it is.
You know, because it's a completely different texture to how it was when I was younger. So maybe it's.
I know, but if you touch a wall,
that gives me.
I touch walls at office and I get an electric shock. And I'm thinking it's a plasterboard wall. How am I getting an electric shock off it? It must be some wiring or something in it.
I'm going again.
She's
oh dear.
Is it not a big beanbag you can sit on instead?
The one in which Claire continually disappears.
Slowly but surely sinking. It's not a symptom.
No, definitely not.
So, but I just think that, you know, HRT is fantastic.
HRT is the thing, and the answer, and the thing is, it's so great to meet women at all different stages of their journey because we're probably through. All three of us probably now through. Not the other side, because it's not, as someone once told us on the podcast, it's never going to go away. We're never going to be premenopause again, but we are. It's so much better with HRT, and it's so much better just as you get older. I think, as you say,
it is. I mean, I'm closer to 60 now than 50. So, and I feel that the journey that it takes you through, however awful it is, if you can get through it and you can deal with it and you get the right medication, you get the right HRT, actually you come through it feeling good.
Gets better in fact in some ways.
And more confident and more able to go, do you know what, I don't care about that anymore.
It's presumably because you know, I know we have the spikes of hormones, which is what causes the symptoms, but as you've gone through it and come out the other side, well, not the other side, but you're through it, you all right, your hormone levels are going to be overall lower, but they're not going to be doing that spiking thing anymore, so therefore you're just in a chiller place, aren't you, generally? And the HRT has helped to take some of those edges off the spikes as you've gone through.
Sort of, it levels it off a bit, doesn't it?
That's what it feels like, doesn't it?
It's just, even if they, like you said, they are lower.
You still get some symptoms, but they're not.
You get used to that.
Extreme, I guess, is the word.
It's that, you know, from 1 minute being up here to just low down. And you can't ever predict what you're going to be. It's not like I have the anxiety every day, and it's not like I have the, you know, sort of the itchy skin every day. It's every day is different.
And it's not even like a cycle, like when you were younger, when you knew your period was coming, you knew you might be feeling a certain way before or during or after. Now it's just random, isn't it?
It is random,
it is, and I think as well, it takes, as you go through the process, the sort of jagged edges of it are sort of worn off, insofar as, you know, I'm still going to be irritable, and that, you know, people are still going to get on my nerves, and I'm still going to have bouts of depression. It's just, I'm just going to, but I'm not. It's not going to be me looking like you did, looking at myself and thinking, Amanda, you're behaving irrationally here. It's more like, well, actually, you've got a right to be angry.
You're angry about this situation.
So it's not an overreaction. It's just normal, and I feel a lot more normal. I think
a proportionate reaction to what's happening. Exactly. Not some grumpy old woman. I think actually, you know, you sort of grumpy old woman. You know, I think people did think, and it's because they weren't on HR. Maybe they need HRT.
Well, they do. We've talked about menopause.
I think they do.
Before.
Yeah, I think they need to find something to give them.
Yeah.
We need more women doctors, and they might create that.
Well,
although I've heard people sort of say, there was somebody recently who'd been to a female doctor about the menopause and was just dismissed.
Yeah, well, she was probably someone who's one of those.
A gynaecologist.
I'm fine. There are some. There's very great men.
I think you still have to fight for it. I think you still do in certain circumstances, and I know that we've had colleagues where they've done something very recently, done something similar, where they've literally gone with a notebook with a list of their symptoms to say, you are not letting me out of here until I get some HRT. And to have to still do that is not good. We shouldn't have to be in that position, but it's getting better. I think it's getting better.
And I think as well that people perhaps realise now that it can be at any age. You know, like me, my symptoms started in my mid to late 30s. That's not unusual. It's
not unusual at all.
No.
You know, it's not some sort of medical oddity.
No.
It is more common than you probably realise.
And who decides 45 is the blooming age when it's supposed
exactly.
to be all right, you know?
Yeah,
no, we're not all going to flick a switch and start.
It's the box, that's it. Anyway, we've probably time to conclude. So thank you ever so much, Claire. That's been really lovely for me to meet you properly. And Amanda to reconnect.
Catch up, Amanda.
I know.
Sometimes it's just sort of socialise together, isn't it? I think so. It's nice for you to reconnect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Hot Flush Lawyers podcast. Please be sure to follow and share this podcast and join in the conversation on our socials. We look forward to sharing our next episode with you very soon.